saw in that clip right there, we're going to be etching this glass today. So if you want to see the full process on what it takes to etch one of these glasses, stick around and I'll walk you through it. What's up everybody, and welcome back to another video. First I want to start off by saying thank you to all my new subscribers. These last 28 days there's been a crazy spike in subscribers. I want to thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified whenever we put out new content or we go live and we do giveaways. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Joe. This is Heart and Hustle Printing. My channel is dedicated to helping those that are starting off or those of you that are looking to start off and don't know where to start. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to leave comments down below. 99.9% of the time I answer every single question back. If you ever have a question, you could always send me a message on Instagram, you can send me a message on Facebook, or you can email me directly to heartandhustleprinting@yahoo.com. All the links are down below. So if you want to leave me a message but you don't want to leave it on social media, you can always send me a message directly and I'll answer you as soon as I have a chance. So again, thank you guys for subscribing. Remember, 15,000 subscribers. We're almost halfway there. 7,500 will be halfway there. We're going to be giving away one of these heat presses right here. It's the 5-in-1 whenever we hit 15,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed and you're thinking about starting a t-shirt business, you might want to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you will be notified whenever we get ready to give one of these away. Not only will I be giving one away, but Juan from Liberty Graphics says that if I hit 15,000 subscribers, he's going to give one away also. So that's 2 heat presses that will be given away. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell so that you're notified whenever we get ready to give that away. Also, they just came out with a 15x15 heat press, just like this one, the same makers. They're going to be sending it to me. I'm going to be doing another review on that one. So make sure you hit that notification bell so that if you're interested in one of these heat presses, you'll be able to see the review on it and how it works out. Like I said, these aren't the top of the line heat presses. They're about $300 for the heat press, but it gets the job done. You can buy one of those fancy ones, but if you're just starting off and you're on a budget, but you want to make t-shirts to help grow your business, I would say, personally, I would say this is the setup right here. This right here, this 5-in-1 heat press with a Cameo is the way to go. If you guys know Cameo 4, you could pre-order it now. The link for that will be down below. Also, if you haven't pre-ordered it. Right, so that brings us to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be etching glass. With the holidays coming, some people can't afford to buy everybody in their family something. So what better way to give them something than to customize a glass for them? If you guys remember, if you tuned in to one of my lives before, I was drinking some beer and I had this on there. So if you see it, it's got my Heart and Hustle logo on there. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not sure if you can. It has that, and then on the back side, it's got the Keep Pressing logo. I'm going to take you through the steps on how you could etch your own glass and what you will need to do it. And it's actually pretty cheap to do your own glasses like this and then give them out for Christmas or a decoration or whatever you want to do with it. It doesn't have to go in a beer mug. It could go in a vase, whatever you want to do it with. But we have a blank one right here. We're going to go with that one. We're going to go ahead and we are going to put some designs on there that I'm doing for this guy at work. This guy at work was asking me if I could do something for him, and I was like, yeah, I could do it. I'm going to do it for him for free. I'm going to walk you through the steps to take this JPEG, turn it into an SVG so that you will be able to cut it in whatever platform cutter that you're using. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead, we're going to do what we do. We're going to jump into the computer. All right, so now that we're in the computer, I'm going to show you these 2 images right here. We're going to be doing this one, and we're going to be doing this one. This is going to go on one side. This one right here is going to go on one side. This is going to go on the other side. And then we're going to put some words above both of them right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into the process on how I turn these into SVGs. Because as we can see right now, these 2 images that I pulled off the internet are both PNG files. So what I do is I come down here and I use Adobe Illustrator. I could use LXI, and I'm pretty sure you could use the Silhouette to do the same thing. But what I do is I use Adobe Illustrator. So you could drop this into LXI if you have LXI. I don't care about the... I'm just going to show you that you can do it. Whenever you do this on here, you just come to bitmap, vectorize, auto trace, and then you just highlight it it does it for you, and then you just move it out of the way. So what it does here, then you could delete this, and this will be your cut file. So this right here would be your cut file, and then you would just go in here, these lines here, if you want, you could change it to whatever you want. So if we're going to do the bird white, we could change it white. Say we're going to do this beak yellow, you come in here, change it yellow, and now you see the beak is yellow. It left the tongue out. It didn't do the tongue whenever I did the auto trace with this. Same thing with the letters. If you wanted to change these letters to a different color, you can go in there and do that. And then whenever you go to cut it, it's going to separate your colors by whatever you did. So say we did this green and this white, so we should have green, yellow, and black. So if I come here, right, so then when this pulls up right here, we'll see we have the black. Here's the black right here. And then we change the A to green. So there's the A. And then we change the beak to yellow. So there it is. It automatically separates the colors for you. If you look over here to the left, it's going to tell you we got black, we got green, where it says medium green, and yellow. And then the weed line is this line that's going to go around here. Whenever it finishes cutting the beak out or whatever it's cutting, it's going to do a weed line around it. That's going to be in black also. So with that being said, that's one way to do it. I'm pretty sure you could do this on the Cameo the same way with the trace tool. We won't get into that, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I do it so I can get that red tongue in there. All right, so here's the way I'm going to do it here is I'm going to grab this, I'm going to drop it into Adobe Illustrator, drop it in right here, and then the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your image is selected. So as you can see, it is selected. If I click off to the side, it's not selected. Everything over here is going to be grayed out. You ain't going to see nothing up here but the basic stuff. You're not going to see the image trace, which is what you're looking for. So you're going to click this box right here. You're going to see image trace. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do, we'll leave it at the default. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click it, let it do its thing. And then as you can see here, it also left out the tongue. Right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to this. Because it left out the tongue, I want to hit color. I'll let it do its thing. It's going to default to like 30 colors, but I'm going to drop this down to, let's do 5. See where it takes us. So we're good. So this right here is what I'm looking for. We got the yellow, we got the white, we got the red, we got the tongue. So, all right, once we got that, you got your color set. You can do what you want to do. You can ignore the white. I'm going to leave the white on there because then if I take the white out, it's going to take the white out of the bird. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. If I come here, you'll see this white background. You could come here, click this, and what it's going to do is it's going to remove everything in there that's white. So everything, the background, it removed it all. But I want to leave it in there because I want to leave this color for the bird in there. So we're going to leave that there. We're going to bring our image back to where we want it. We got it there. What we're going to do now is we're going to click expand. Once we hit expand, it's going to put all the nodes, and then we'll be able to turn this into a SVG file. So we're going to let it do it. And as you can see now, it's got all these nodes in here, or whatever you want to call them. It's got them in there. And then we're just going to come, save as. Come down here. We'll change this to airborne SVG so that I'll be able to find it. And then we're going to change this. We want to drop it into an SVG file, which is a cuttable file. So this now will be a cuttable file, and then we're just going to drop it onto the desktop. Just going to hit OK. And then I can show you this. Here's our image right here. It shows like the Internet Explorer thing. So people get confused when I send them files like this. They're asking me, why is it like that? Don't freak out if you see it like that. Just get it, drop it into your program, and whenever you do that, it's going to open up just like that. If you guys remember the last one, this wasn't a cuttable file whenever I clicked it. But now whenever I click it, we're going to see now it is a cuttable file. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come here, group, ungroup all. All right, so now whenever I do that, so now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down here to this fill mode, and I'm going to click that. When I click that, it's going to show all the cuts. So now we're just going to go through here and delete some stuff. So we're going to delete this outer border right here and this border here, this border right here, and then we stay with just our image now. So here we are with our image, and that's what we're going to stay with. So now that's the first image. Now we're going to go back. I'm going to do the other image real quick. It doesn't take long. It just takes long whenever you going through and explaining how to do it. So this next one, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to walk you through it. If you guys have any questions on how I did that, feel free to leave comments down below. I'll rewind the video and watch it again. But we're going to do this one quick. This one should be easy. As you can see, it's always good to get a file that is big. So the bigger the file, the better the pixels are. So if you see this one's 2000 by 2738. So that's a good picture. This one that we used right here was 592 by 767. That one was a decent one and it came out pretty good. So this one, same thing, drop it in, put it in place. This picture is very big. Control minus so that we could do that. Hitting shift will make this stay the same size and it won't make the size go off, if that makes sense. So then we're going to come here, we're going to zoom back into this. This is what I mean. So if I don't hit shift, if I click this and I start moving things, it's going to do this. Or if I just start like trying to do this myself, trying to like get this to be the right way, it might not get the right way. So by hitting shift, again, we're able to just grab this and then resize it back to where we want it. So we're here, come back to our image, quick, click it, image trace. It's going to do it. We're going to change this to color. It's going to do its thing. It's going to default to 30 colors. We obviously don't have 30 colors in here. All right, so this one came out really good. We're going to drop this down to 7 colors. We should still be good because there's red, black, and white. So there's only 3 colors in here. So we'll drop this down to 5 colors. There's only 3 colors in here. It should turn out just fine, but we'll see here in a second whenever we change this. So we're good. Once we're good there, we're just going to hit expand. It's going to expand it. As you can see, all these pixels or the nodes, whatever they are, we're going to do that. We're going to save as. We're going to put this as airborne 2. So we'll just put this. So we'll change this to airborne. We'll put number 2 SVG on there so that we know that's our second one. Then we're going to come here, SVG, we're going to drop it to the desktop. Hit OK. And we should be good. So then we got 1. And then we got 2. We'll put them underneath each other so we know which is which. So now we're going to grab this one, drop it in there, and as you can see, there they are, both of them. So then we're going to come here with the same thing with this one. Move this over. We're going to ungroup this. So we come to arrange, group, ungroup all. And then once you start clicking in here, you're going to delete it. It's going to delete the whole thing. So make sure you click off to the side. You won't be able to see. You have to guess for these lines. Again, click over here, click that, delete it, and then we'll go through here and delete some stuff. So we delete that one and that one. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to click this. So on Adobe Illustrator, whenever we clicked it, we held down shift, and then we were able to do this right here. But as you see in here with Adobe Illustrator, with LXI, it doesn't do that with here. So what we're going to do is Control Z, which is to undo, and then we're going to, on this one, on LXI Expert, you click it, you hold down Control. With Control clicked, you're going to see the whole image is going to get big, or it's going to stay small, get small, and it's going to stay the right size. It's not going to get unproportional, I guess we could say. So then we're going to grab this and we're going to drop it right into place. And then, as you can see, we are far away from here. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Control, drop it into place, right? So once we're so far out, you can either come here, click the plus or the plus sign to get closer. You can Control plus to get closer, or you can just come here, zoom the page, and it zooms you right in. All right, so now I'm just going to get this airborne one. I'm going to move it out of the way. So the reason I'm moving it out of the way is because we're going to work on this one first. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add some text in here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to round it. We're going to round the text above the top and then through the bottom. With LXI, you come here. As you can see, it has this little arrow. When it has an arrow like that, you hold down the button and it'll pull up the other options. So we're going to come here, and then we're going to come and we're just going to click on our image. Right? So as you can see, it's got this little arrow facing that way. This is what you have to be careful with, and I'll show you how to use it here in a second. If I start writing right now, you're going to see how it's writing backwards, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we come to this one, because if you look at this one right here and we leave it there, it's going to say line at the bottom, and this one right here, it says first line on top. So we're going to go here, we're going to go with the top, and then if you see, now we can start writing, right? All right, so now that we got it here on the line, this is where we want it. And then if you look right here, you got 3 different options. So this one right here is going to be above the circle, like it says above the circle. We want to use this one. This one will be first line on the circle, so it will write here on the circle, as you see right there. And then this one right here will write underneath the circle. So it all depends on how you want to do it. We're going to go with above the circle, and then we're just going to type in what we want. So that's what we're going to be going with right there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to zoom out. All right, so now that I zoomed out, I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to resize this down to where I want it. All right, so as you can see, this does not fit the way we want it to. So, in able to get this to fit the way we want, we're going to come here. Again, we're going to hit this T. Once we hit that T, we're going to open up Design Central. We're going to be using this one right here. This little arrow that's pointing up. What it's going to do is it's going to make that circle bigger. As it's making the circle bigger, it's going to make the arch go lower. So we're going to zoom out a little bit more just so that we could keep this in our sight. And then we're going to start hitting this. And as you can see, the circle's getting bigger, the arch is getting smaller. So now we're going to give it a try. This right here, you just mess with until you get it the way you like. Once we get it there, we'll see how that looks. We'll zoom in, and I think that looks good. The next thing I want to do is I want to center these 2 images so that they're centered. You can sit here and guess with it, mess with it. The easiest way to do that is just highlight everything, come up here to Arrange, go to Align, vertically align, and as you can see, the word moved over a little bit. I'll show you again just in case you didn't catch that. We'll move this over here. You're going to come down, you're going to highlight or select the whole image, right? Then you're going to come here to Arrange, Align, and then you want to align vertically. So now whenever we align this vertically, it puts it right in the center where we need it. So that right there is good. All right, so now that we have the top done, we're going to come down here to the bottom, and we are going to click this again, click this, and then we're going to click where we want. Now if you see the arrow, it's facing to the left. As we start typing, it's going to put it the opposite way which we want to go. So we're going to come back here, we're going to delete this, we're going to click this, and now we're going to be able to type this way, right? So we got that clicked, and then you can also come up here, and I have this selected to the center. So whenever it's writing it, it's going to center it. So make sure you have that set to the way you want also. Anyways, so we're going to come here, coming back to our circle here, make sure we got the right thing, and then we're going to type in here with Destiny. All right, so now that we got in Destiny, with Destiny in there, all right, so now that we got that in there, again, we're going to zoom out. So we're going to come back over here, zoom out. As you can see, this is way too big. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click off to the side. I want this to be a little bit more flatter on the bottom. So again, we're going to come here, we're going to click it, click that, this up arrow. All we're going to do is make this bubble bigger. So we'll zoom out a little bit, click it, it's going to make it bigger. And then once we think we got it where we want, again, this is all on how you want to do it. I'm going to drop it right into place. Zoom in to look at it. All right, so this is where we're at. I'm going to hold down Control. I'm going to bring it in just a little bit more. All right, so that should be good. All right, so again, we want to center this. We just come here, we grab everything, come up to Arrange, Align, and then Vertical. So now we got that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one, Control Copy, Control Paste, and then I'm going to come down here. Nope, this one's flat, so that one's good. So we're going to come here, we're going to grab this, Control G to group the whole thing. So then whenever I move this, It's out of the way. All right, so now we're gonna grab this one, bring it in. This one is gonna say death from above. So this almost fits where we need it to fit. Maybe a little bit bigger and we'll be there. So we're gonna come here, we're just gonna click our text, and then we're gonna write in death from. So that is almost spot on. So we're gonna leave that one just like that. We'll center it in a little bit, and then we're gonna come down here. We're gonna write one down here. But now this one doesn't need an arch down here, so we just want it to go straight across. So we're gonna come here, go straight across, and then just type in above. So there's that one. Get our handlebars, control, so we can resize the whole thing. Then we'll bring it right in where we're gonna need it. So we're gonna bring this image to the top of this page here, so that this one under here will fit. Make it a little bit bigger. All right, so now what we have to do now is whenever we turn this off right here, we're gonna see everything that's gonna be cut. So everything here is gonna be cut now. So what I wanna do now is I wanna make this space, this cut space bigger. So now both of my images are about the same size. If I put this one over this one, they're the same size. So this is going to be good. So what I want to do now is I want to put these side by side. And then with the design space, what I want to do is whenever I do this, I could do a weed border around that to make it cut right above death from above, cut it right around it. But what I want to do is I want to leave some space above, some space on the bottom, and some space on the side, so that I don't have to put additional tape around it, so that I don't get anything on it. So what I'm going to show you now is how I do that. The way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to click the background again, or the cut surface, whatever we're cutting on, the vinyl, which would be this right here. Whatever we're using to cut on, that's what we're going to be doing right here. So we're going to make this, we're going to make it wider so both of them will fit. So we got to bring this one over here. Click our background. We want to go, let's go 8 inches. So we got both of them inside of there. Let's go 6 inches. So we'll have some inches above both of these. So here we go. Make sure you group them so that they don't move. So this one, Control G, we got it to group now. Got this one here, and then we'll put this one here. All right, so now, if we go to cut this, it's gonna have a whole bunch of different colors. We're gonna have to send all the colors at one time. So what I wanna do, so that I have something to look back on when it comes time to weed this, is I want to make everything on here that is gonna be cut red. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm gonna show you, and then once we get into cutting this, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna come in here, we're gonna ungroup all of this stuff. Range, group, ungroup all. So everything that is gonna be etched, we're gonna turn it red. So the first thing I wanna do is grab the names. So remember, again, you can hold down Shift to click multiple things, and we're just gonna click red, okay? So that is gonna be etched. This blue is gonna be etched right here. So we wanna turn that red and that red. This black line right here is not gonna be etched. I wanna make sure I get the right thing. This black line is not gonna be etched, so we're gonna delete it. Let me see if I gotta get it right on the money. Nope, I think that's it. Delete it, yeah. So that is not gonna be etched either. The only things that are gonna be etched is what's gonna be in red. So the next thing, these letters are not gonna be etched, but remember, if the letter's not etched, the inside of this is gonna be etched. So we're gonna turn that to red, that to red. All of this is gonna be etched. All right, so stay with me and I'll show you in a little bit. So the same thing here, what we're gonna do here is this is gonna be etched and this is gonna be etched. So this black line, hopefully that's it, is not gonna be etched yet. The next thing we're gonna do is This red is going to be etched. This blue is not going to be etched. So we want to take that out of there, take that out of there, take that out of there. But what we want to do is we want to come back in here and find our two A's and turn those red. So if you see now, whenever I zoom out, all of this is going to be on this glass right here. Hopefully you guys are still following me. All right, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the bird. Whatever we want to be etched is going to be red. Remember that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and these words, I'm just going to delete them all because I just want the white background in there. Because then it's going to tell me that I got to cut a yellow color. I don't want to cut a yellow color. So we're going to delete all these. Oops. Delete all of this. So now we have this cut out. So the next thing we're going to do after we delete all that is we're going to turn this patch to red, because that is going to be etched. This is not going to be etched, so we're going to delete that piece. This is not going to be etched, so we're going to delete that piece. The tongue is not going to be etched. The next thing that is going to be etched is going to be the eyeball. So what we want to do is click this black, and then we're good. So that is going to be etched. If you see now, everything that is in red is going to be etched. And then when it comes time to weeding this, I can see all of these perfect, what I'm going to be weeding. All right, so we're going to take this over to the cutter. We're going to get these cut, and then we're going to weed them and see how they look. All right, so here's what we're going to be using right here. Remember, the color of this right here doesn't matter. As long as you're doing what we're going to be doing, the color really doesn't matter. On the computer, we put red. For this, I'm using yellow. It doesn't matter. So we're going to be using, the plotter that we're going to be using is a Vinyl Express QE6000. Sign Warehouse sent me this one a while back. So if you can afford something like this, I would say get it because it's well worth it. So as you can see, as you can barely see, is this long blue line right here. This little short one, that's for the 12-inch. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to line this up. All right, so once you got this thing into place right here, we already locked it in. We got it on the front and back with these rib lines right here, which are very convenient. They help you a whole lot whenever it comes to lining this up straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit sheet for you. I'm going to hit the sheet, and I'm going to show you, just because it's a 12 by 12 piece of sheet, you cannot cut a 12 by 12 piece on top of this, because you got to remember, you got to factor in the rollers. The rollers go all the way to 12 inches. Your piece of paper or whatever vinyl you're using is going to fall out. All right. So we're going to hit sheet right here. It's actually number 3. It's going to measure it vertically and horizontally, and it's going to tell us our cut area. So after measuring this whole thing 12 by 12, we have a 10 by 11 inch piece to cut. So you have to make sure whenever you measure this that your image that you're cutting over here is not bigger than what this thing says, because if it is, it's not going to cut it. So make sure, if you have this cutter or the Graphtec cutter and you measure whatever you're cutting on here, make sure your image on that you're using over here is not bigger than your piece of vinyl, because it won't cut it. All right, so now that we know everything's gonna work, our image size is not bigger than our paper, so we will get a full cut out of this. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come up here to this cut. Then we're gonna zoom into this. For some reason, it's telling us we got a whole bunch of different colors. I don't know why. All right, so for some reason, there's different colors in here. There's white. I don't know what that white is, but it's very small. I don't even see it. There's black. Very small. Got a different shade of red here, which is the outline of one of the patches, and then we got the circle. All right, so that's an easy fix. If this happens to you and you have all these colors over here to the left side, all you have to do is come up here to where it says send all colors, and then watch what happens down here. Everything down here is now showing. So everything down here is showing. This airborne is not showing right, but when I zoom into it, it shows that it's going to cut it. We'll find out here in a minute. So the one thing I don't want to do is I don't want to add a weed border. So we're not going to add a weed border. We're going to hit send. If you have any questions on what I set this up to, we're going at a speed of 10, force of 8, right? So the speed is going to be moving at 10, whatever speed that is, and then the force of 8 is perfect to cut adhesive vinyl. Remember, whenever you can set up different settings on here with your conditions. For me, I know number 3 is for 651 vinyl. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to send this to the cutter. Remember, make sure your image isn't flipped. As long as it's not flipped, you're good to go, and hit send. Alright, so it's done. I'm just gonna pop it out. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see that. Alright, so here it is right here. We got it. We got it cut out. I've already cut this piece. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna cut this. So we have 2 pieces. I don't know if you can see this, but it went to the edge of the paper, so it didn't leave the gap like I wanted it to. But this one over here should be okay. I'll leave a gap on this one. And then we're going to start to weed these. So remember, look at the picture. I'm going to pull up a picture right here. Everything that is in red is what will be etched. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with this one first. So this is going to be etched. This is going to be etched, and then whenever this is done, this is going to stick out because it's not going to be etched. Alright, so then we're going to go. Whenever weeding letters, I always go from the right to the left. Makes it a whole lot easier when it comes out of the E's, the R's. So whenever we come, we should be able to just pull this right out. Here's one of them right here. So that was everything in red is now white. And this one, just make sure, double check, make sure you got everything out. Once you get everything out and you're good with the way your image looks, you could then use this transfer paper. Everybody has their ways of doing things. Like I always say, this is the way I do it. So basically, look for the center line, find out where the center is, and then instead of trying to put it like this, causing bubbles, I will put it just like this and drop it into place. That way, there's no bubbles on there. Which would go like this, once we get it on there. So there's that one, and here's the second one. So these both look good, they're ready to go. Everybody always asks where I get these from. These are just flaskers. I got these at Walmart, but if you don't want to go to the store, go down below. There's a link down in the bottom. Makes it a whole lot easier than using scissors. So pick one of these up right here if you don't have one. All right, so here we go. And when I was doing this, I grabbed this one. I pulled the sticker off and I dropped it, and it got lint all over the backside of it. So I had to redo it, but we're good to go. I'm going to use my mouse here to balance this to keep it level so I know where the middle's at. Then I'm going to keep this over this time. And then I'm going to make sure everything is down. Start peeling up this sticker, making sure all the letters stay on there. All right, so this one's good. You could probably put some water on here to stick it before it moves around, but I'm just gonna go ahead, use my best judgment. I just wanna basically, whenever I stick this, I'm gonna stick the middle of the image, then go this way and that way, so. But again, like I always say, this is the way I do it. Everybody has their way, so it's on there. Go from the top to the bottom. Use this. Round that side. Then round this side. Make sure we get our sticker fully seated in there. Then you can just start to remove the sticker, making sure everything stays on there whenever you're pulling it off. So if you have any bubbles in the font area, that's when you want to come back and look. Here it creased up, but it's not where the font's at, so it's good. Alright, so there's this side, and there's this side. So now it's gonna come time to etching this. What we're gonna be using for this is this stuff right here, Armor Etch. We're gonna be using this stuff right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take some, we're gonna put it on here, we're gonna apply it to this glass part right here. Once we apply it to this glass part, we're gonna let it sit for a while. And then once we get done, we're gonna go to the sink. We're gonna put these gloves on right here, and we're gonna wipe it off. Good. I don't know if it doesn't say to mix it, but I'm gonna mix it up because it's been a while since I've used it. Armor Etch cream. That's all it is, and we're just gonna blob it on here. What I like to do is whenever I do this, is I like to, you can use, like I use the popsicle sticks, or you can use a brush. What I like to do is just, as I leave it on here, is I just constantly move it around. And the reason I'm doing that is because whenever you apply this stuff right here, you never know if air bubbles got under there. And if there's an air bubble under there, when you go to remove this stuff, wherever there was a pocket of air is not gonna get etched. So for the 5 minutes, basically this is all I'm doing is just smearing it around. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead, we're just gonna wash this off right here. And we're gonna see how it comes out. So I'm just gonna take some warm water. So after washing off the etch cream, what I did was I came back out here and I was recording, but for some reason the file got corrupted, so it didn't show whenever I was taking this off. All right, so there it is, etching your own glass right there. There's one side, and there is the other side. So with the holidays coming up, it's always cool if you could just customize something like this and send it to somebody. Again, this is the process that I go through whenever I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing things. Like I always tell you guys, this is the way I do it. If you guys got any easier ways or any different ways that you guys do things, leave some comments down below. Alright, so that's the end of the video. Just wanted to show you guys how easy it was to etch your own glass. The editing and all the other stuff that takes forever, it's alright because the comments that you guys leave down below, it's always worth it. So again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And until next time, keep pressing.